that moments ago. We did hear from President Trump speaking to reporters, once again distancing himself from the events that played out last week and calling for an end to violence. And for more on that, I want to bring on Yahoo Finance's Rick Newman, who joins us now. And Rick, I mean, of course, the president here wants to distance himself from all that, but how much do you think that just a quick, brief chat with reporters is going to do that?
He said exactly what everybody expected him to say, which is, I had nothing to do with the riots at the Capitol last week. Let's talk about something else. I guess we should consider it a plus that he has said today, let's not have any more violence. But of course, as you pointed out, there could be more violence next week with people from militias and other armed and angry groups showing up at state capitals. It sounds like there's going to be a barricade of troops around the U.S. Capitol and probably the whole federal district in the center of the District of Columbia. So clearly a very tense time for the next week to 10 days.
Hi, Rick. And just taking a look here at the impeachment proceedings, the potential for Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment, where are things looking right now in terms of the probability of that happening, and what's next here for the House of Representatives?
Unless President Trump does something new that is really crazy, Mike Pence is not going to invoke the 25th Amendment. This is not going anywhere. Remember, this also requires a majority of cabinet members to join in with Mike Pence. And some of the cabinet members who might have been more inclined to do that have resigned. So the ones who are left tend to be the more loyal cabinet members. As things are right now, if President Trump does not do anything to further inflame the situation, Steve Mnuchin, Wilbur Ross, Ben Carson, these people are not going to remove President Trump. And I think they know that in the House of Representatives. So they're going to have a vote on this, trying to force Pence to do it today. This is just theater. The meaningful business will come later tonight and tomorrow. It sounds like the House is going to impeach President Trump. Then the question is what happens in the Senate, where it becomes much more difficult to convict him, because instead of a simple majority vote, they need a 2/3 vote of the members present. If you have all the senators there, that means about 17 Republicans have to agree to impeach Trump. Not impossible, but not looking likely right now.
And Rick, lastly, I mean, we're talking a lot about the impeachment votes, but there are concerns really across the country about increased violence. You heard the president calling for a stop to that violence earlier, but a warning in an FBI bulletin that a lot of news organizations are citing here warns about armed protests planned at all 50 state capitals and the U.S. Capitol, as you were saying there. So, I mean, if we're seeing this be a widespread issue leading up to Inauguration Day, how serious is that threat given what we saw play out last week?
Obviously, it's serious. I think the part of the challenge here is we're probably not going to see armed insurrection in literally every one of 50 state capitals, but we could see things bubbling up. And the question is, who knows where? I think what we have learned many things from what happened at the Capitol, the riots at the Capitol on January 6th, such as don't assume that a large group of protesters is going to remain peaceful. Assume that violence could ensue. The question is, where is this going to happen? Law enforcement was obviously unprepared on January 6th at the Capitol. One would think that in every state capital and now in the District of Columbia, law enforcement is going to show up in overwhelming force to prevent this from happening again. But again, you don't know where this could happen. So I think we should be prepared for, number one, a very large law enforcement turnout, but surprises next week, as uncomfortable as that might be.